have that screen here, yeah? So you control your audience here. Then let's share which screen you want. What did you do? What did you do?
Nothing, I connected the...
Okay.
Hello, Leon.
Hello.
Finally.
And where is the share screen? Yeah. Share.
We are trying also to set up the recording.
Okay.
YouTube.
It's a really cool tool that you can use to you can do all our tickets in GitHub and then get a travel board of the tickets so that they're actually linked to the code. It's quite a cool tool. The channel's quite nice too.
Yeah.
The link to everyone. Can you resume the live again?
It's live still.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Can you hear us, Leon?
I can hear you. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We cannot hear you. Oh, 1 second.
I think Chad said it doesn't work on his machine, right?
What was that? Or the YouTube? Don't know. He said something doesn't work.
That's all I was paying attention to.
Hey, Liam.
Yes, hello.
So yeah, my computer ran out of battery after setting up. So
Okay.
now I'm using a different computer.
Where's the second screen? Ah, you need to like
I need
change the projection
Okay.
to.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, let me throw that to the other screen, and then where is the hangout?
The S7 normal. Yeah, sounds like
Yeah, so
just the normal.
two.
Well, that's it.
You can ask for it instead of just taking it from his son.
Can you see my screen? Can
That's yes, they don't like it.
you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
That's not shared.
Okay. So maybe we can do like half an hour or something. Let's see how far we get. I'm sorry for the inconveniences.
It's okay.
So let me go through this quickly. So I'm going to show Babel, Babel JS.io, and I'm going to compare that to Elm really quickly. There is a slash Babel repo, I think it's called. Yeah, so let's write a function to pluralize a word. So we are going to give the function a word in singular and plural, and we're going to get one or the other. So I'm going to write that in JavaScript. Let me open it really quickly here as well, so I don't forget. The good thing is I have a blog post with all the talk I was going to give, so I can send you. As a markdown here in my.
Oh no, not again.
Okay. So let's go here to Babel, and I'm going to write a function. So function pluralize. I'm going to provide three parameters. One is the singular form, the plural form, and also an amount. So I'm going to say 1 apple or 5 apples. I'm going to make the plural of it. So I'm going to say like quantity here, and then just implement the function really quickly. So really simple. If quantity is 1, then we're going to return the singular, right?
Okay.
Singular. And else, I'm going to return the plural. So that makes sense so far, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to do console log, and I'm going to call the function pluralize. So one word, the singular. Now we are going to set the plural cells, and now we can provide the quantity. So let's say we provide 1. You see here, we can notice two things. First is in the right side, you have the transformation from like any version of JavaScript in the left to I think it's ES5 should be. And also you have in the bottom, you have the output. Mm-hmm. So what happens here is if I change, let's say I make let's say this is like in a massive production code, and I made this mistake. I'm going to delete singular. I delete the R. So I get an undefined in the bottom, as you see, which is like, if you don't hit that path, so if I change in the console, I change to 3, for example, I'm going to get a good result, right? I'm going to get shelves. But if I hit that path, then I'm going to get undefined. So that's something not very cool with JavaScript. That's why I don't like JavaScript in a way. But this is not too bad. But something else can be even worse. So let me change here. So I'm going to put back singular. But instead, let's say I don't have any unit test. I feel like fancy. So I'm going to change the 1 from integer to a string. Let's see what happens. So far it's working, because I'm sending 3. So it's not hitting that branch. But if I send 1, what do you think will happen? You expect that it will fail, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
You get
You did.
But why is that?
Because 1 equals 1.
But that should help me actually. Because I'm not doing triple equal.
Yeah.
So normally in JavaScript, to compare the time, normally we do triple equal. So here you see you are getting self. So you are getting a misbehavior. It's not behaving, but it's really hard to get these things in production. That's why I don't like that much JavaScript. But imagine that you have a language that's the same thing. So here we are getting, actually I'm going to do something else. So I'm going to transform from this function to ES 2015 function. So using the arrow notation. So we change from here, we take out the function, and then I think I have to put like an arrow here. And I'm getting an error because I think, let me check I think I had to put another parenthesis or something here. Let me check the function here. Yeah, I need to define as a variable.
I think say that equals established maps too.
Because I think I'm defining an anonymous function with the lambda. So I need to assign that to a variable. Okay, so now it's working. You see what it changes to the function notation that we have. So basically what it's doing is transforming from any version of JavaScript to ES5, I think it is, the standard JavaScript that most browsers understand. Imagine that you can have a language that does the same thing, compiles to JavaScript, but also it checks for types, so you wouldn't have this problem. So we're going to do the same here in the Elm repo. So let's start with the Hello World application here, and let's define the function in Elm. So it's very easy actually.
Let's start on 1.
Oh. So let's create the function
because we have technical issues just start.
So in Elm, what I do is I don't use parentheses. I put the name of the function, and now I'm going to put the same parameter. So I'm going to put singular space.
What is important HTML exposing test?
So you see here it's showing hello world. So that's a library to show HTML in the page. Like an importing a package.
Okay. Otherwise, you cannot do hello world.
And the thing is, you get exposing text. So you can do import HTML, you do dot, and you get all the things that HTML package has. If you do only text, then that's why we are showing text. So also we have the quantity. So it's the name of the function, and then as many parameters, and then I can do equals. And then here it's like elixir, so you don't do return. Like the last statement evaluated will be the return type. So the if statement in Elm is very similar. So you do like quantity.
Very similar to Elixir.
Very similar to JavaScript. So. And Elixir I think the same. So you have like if quantity is 1, then that's the notation. And then you don't have to do return. So you return singular straight away. And you do else, and you return plural here.
We've done double equals rather than single triple equals.
I don't do triple equals because this is going to check for the types especially. So rather than returning text hello world, I'm going to return only the function. So the way I call the function is function name maybe, and then the parameter. So let's say I pass self. It's an example. So self selves.
Line 3 looks really confusing.
That looks confusing.
Yeah, don't know what's what on line 3.
Oh, line 3. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let me know as soon as you understand. So there,
I know what it is, but like if first time I was looking at that, it just looks like a bunch of variables, or you can't really tell what's the function name and what's.
so
That might be conventional, right?
So the convention in M is that you don't use parentheses. So I don't think it even works if you put parentheses. But does that help? Diogo?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
So the thing is, the first name that you get there is the name of the function, always.
Yeah, I understand that. It just looks confusing. Like, it's obviously not used to it.
It's a while to get used to that, but at the end, I find
It's the same as ClockScript in Ruby. I think
No,
they use some stuff
it's really clean language,
similar to that.
to be honest. And I think in Elixir, you can also know about the parentheses if you like. I think we have taken the convention to use parentheses here in the company, but
You can avoid parentheses.
But also, maybe a naming convention would help that.
Yeah.
so here I'm defining the pluralize function, passing 3 parameters, singular, plural, quantity, and I have the same if statement. The only thing I don't have the return, so you can compare the right sides. And then I'm calling the function, so I'm going to pass the 3. So, and now I can compile it. And I'm getting an issue because, of course, so you can see the compiler in action already. Here, so actually it was calling like plural, and I have to patch this. Actually, it's saying text is expecting the first argument to be. Sorry. So I think it's getting confused because text here is a function. So it's understanding. Text I expect a string.
I've got your phone screen. It's not because you're.
No problem. So it's expecting text to have a string, but the parameter, and it's expecting one parameter, but the first parameter is a function.
Yeah.
So you can evaluate. So you have to put parentheses. In this case, you have to put parentheses. Yeah. I think I'm not doing a very good job selling this stuff, but yeah. The good thing you saw that if I try, let's try to do the same thing. So I'm going to change the variable here. So if I try to compile, it's very cool actually because the compiler is telling me, hey, I cannot find singular. Maybe you mean singular. So what it's doing is have some algorithms to find like the best match in your body. To say, hey, and it's really helpful sometimes for people like me that I tend to do a lot of mistakes. And also, if I do the same thing, like if I change the type here to a string, I compare, and it's telling me, hey, the function pluralize is expecting the third parameter to be a string, but you're sending a number. And why is that happening? If you see here, quantity, it can be anything, no?
It's inferring.
It's inferring, that's correct, it's inferring the type of the parameter from the body. So you do one or the other. So you change to a string or you change to a number in this case. So let's put back here. And now I'm going to show you, so any questions so far? Yes. Any questions, guys, in that deep? Diogo, Liam? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you really quickly. We have
Are they still there? Yeah? Are they still there?
Are you there, Liam?
Yeah,
you're okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I just stopped to pick up some pizza. Sorry.
No problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going. See, if you see here, I'm just showing a text. So let's be a bit more fancy. I'm going to show that as actual HTML. So to do that, I'm going to put here some import attributes. So I'm going to import this stuff. So what I'm going to do now is, you see, HTML, I'm importing only text. That means I cannot use div I cannot use table. I cannot use any of the standard attributes for HTML. So I'm going to replace that to dot dot, meaning that I can use any of the properties in the model. Then I also importing attributes, meaning that I can use class names for CSS. I can use disable all the properties I just expect from HTML as a property in a node. And also I'm exporting the events. So probably we won't have time to do that. But yeah, from there you can take like on click, on change when you change an input field. So now let's try to do some HTML here. So rather than returning that, I'm going to return here in the main. You see, I'm returning the view. So I'm going to replace that to here. I'm going to put like a main div, and you have two parameters. So if you see here, everything in them is a function, even the HTML elements. So div is a function that takes two parameters, two lists. First list is the attribute of that element. The second parameter is a list of children. This is using linked list, so all the HTML elements will have children, and you can iterate through all of them. All of them, they have the same structure. So if you create a table, it will have two parameters: the list of attributes and the children. So here, I'm going to put like really quickly class, and then content. And now I'm going to list all the children here. So maybe I can put it here. Okay, so let's show, for example, H1. Again, I don't have any. I'm not going to put any attributes, and now I'm going to say inside the H1, why don't you show text with pluralizer? And now you put like comma, so it's a list of children. Usually, I've seen people do it like this, comma, and the following attributes. So let's do again the text. Let's put the text that we had before here. So pluralize, and now banana. I should be careful with the words because it's being recorded. Bananas, and then we can put like 3. So let's compare. Let's see if I get an error.
Nice.
Nice. So you see, everything is like linked together, all the attributes, and the fact that all the elements are functions, you can refactor the HTML by refactoring a function. So you can like move stuff around. You can have tests for that as well, but it's easier than like the standard HTML. And also one thing is, do you know React.js is using something called the virtual DOM?
Yeah.
So here is using the same thing. It's using the virtual DOM to actually compare what you change to what is actually in the actual DOM, and it's going to re-render only that part. We're using some kind of algorithms. So actually, if I change here the amount now to 1,
in that case, it's going to refresh because you recompile everything.
it recompiles.
But if you have an event, then it's going to change just the thing. Yeah?
But it's really quickly. Like now, I'm starting like a proper application, and everything compiles really quickly, and the beta takes.
If you had a button that would change that div, then it would be faster.
That would be faster. Yeah, it goes faster as you put more stuff. So let's try to. Let me see if I can show you something a bit more interesting. So why don't we put the? Actually, you were meant to do this with me as a workshop, but yeah, I can do it for you. So I'm going to put a button, so that quantity we can increase that. I'm going to put some interactivity in the HTML. So I'm going to put a button there. So probably you can help me putting this. What do you expect that? How could I add a button here? Button? That makes sense. And then?
Attributes might have an
click.
On click. That makes sense. On click.
Then the name of the function.
So I'm going to put a name of the function. So I'm going to put like increment. Let's do increment button. And the children, I don't think I'm going to put any children inside the button, so that should be enough. Let's
put a text on there, to the button.
Oh yeah, that's
value. On the attributes. The attributes.
Oh, on the attributes.
Yeah.
I think like normally buttons they have like a child component,
which is the text.
Which is the text of the button.
True.
So thank you very much for remembering me.
It's the input they have a byte.
So let's put the increment here. Nice. So it's complaining because I don't have that increment.
Yeah.
So what do you put there? Like Regis was saying, I should put a function, but I'm not going to do a function because this doesn't work with like calling functions and callbacks and stuff like that. It's more using the publisher subscriber event. So what is going to happen is I'm going to click the button. That is going to send a message, and then my whole application or the view is going to listen to that and it's going to do something. Okay. So first of all, I need to define this this increment here. So the way it works is like you can name it like messages. Just send messages. So I'm going to define something here, and I explain you really quickly. So I'm going to define message equals, and I'm going to put increment here. So now at least we should get that compiling. Okay, we have the button. It looks a bit shit. Maybe I can.
Right, we won't mark it down for your styles.
Then I can show you the thing. I can show you like div. I can put maybe we can put the button in a different div or something. So I can do like here. That's a bit very nice. And then I'm going to go to here. Div. And now I need to put something. Oh, put more than I should. I put an extra. I need a comma for sure here.
Is the children the second parameter, not the first parameter? So move the button and everything to the second parameter. Open, close there after this.
After the.
And then I remove the.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, really. See, it's very easy. Clicking the wrong button. Yeah, that's it. That works. So let me see. I have a. Yeah, no, I think I should put like a div.
Yeah.
And then inside the div, I want to have like a button as a children. Okay, really good. So nothing happens, right? So first of all, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to show the number of the quantity that we have, because you see now I'm hard-coding the quantity here. When I'm calling the pluralize function, I have hard-coded 1, but I'm not being able to see that, no? So let's add that. So for that, I'm going to need something. Let me copy it here. That's very cool. Really. I'm getting your Facebook messages and Tiago.
What's up, message?
Some messages. So let me show you this. I'm going to copy it away. Here, what we have is I have moved the main function that I had before to something a bit more complicated. But it's not really complicated. What we have here is 4 functions. I have an init function, I have the view, I have a date, and subscriptions. So what I'm going to provide here is the init function is the function that is going to be called when you render the component the first time. Then you have the view, which is that templating thing that we have there. A date is the one that when I click the button is going to be triggered to update something. And then subscriptions, I'm not going to tell you about because we are trying to go through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change Does it make sense so far, by the way?
Yeah, I'm still not clear about how update works, but yeah.
Let's implement the thing, and maybe we'll be clear.
Yeah.
So first of all, like this name is the view actually. View.
Yep.
So actually, let's compile that and see what happens. So we don't have, first of all, I don't have HTML program. So that means I don't have in the import anything. So now I'm not using big, make it big. So HTML program.
Is it possible to make the text bigger a bit?
Let me check. Yeah. So HTML program is something I'm missing to import. So I'm going to put it. So I'm going to do that here. So that's your application. So I'm taking from the HTML module, I'm taking a function called app application, and I'm renaming that. Ask means that I'm going to rename that to HTML. So then I can use it here. But you can put anything. You could put like app as well here. So okay, let's compile that and see if we get rid of that error. So the errors we're getting now, init function and update and subscriptions, they're not defined, so we need to define them. So first of all, let's define the init function. Init, as any other function, it will take parameters and it will return something. So in this case, because it's the initial state, I'm not going to take any parameter. I'm going to return the initial kind of data for your view. So what I'm going to return here, it's the model, kind of my representation of data. So we are using something called quantity. I'll explain to you in a second why I'm doing like curly braces. So I'm going to put let's put quantity equals 1 here. So this here, curly braces, is something called, it's called record. A record is kind of similar to a class in JavaScript, or like a value map in Elixir, or it's a bunch of data with properties. The difference is they don't have like they don't have column. You have like equals. But at the end of the day, it's the same. It's like an object without behavior, just data.
Plain object.
Plain objects. That's correct. So let's see if we get rid of the problem. Okay, now we have the init function, the update function. So I'm going to create it here. Let's do that. So update. Update needs to get something, right? Because it's going to get some kind of event or some kind of message, and it's going to update something. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to, since we have defined the message here, so you see when we did the on click, it's triggering increments. So it's going to be a message. Probably I didn't explain very well about this message. This is a type. So it's kind of, you can refer that to your in your view. You can like, here is a message. So it's like an integer or like a string. So you are creating your own types. Like you could use integers, you can use message. And we are defining the available types for those. We're defining like one possible value is increments. And so, does it make sense?
Not entirely, but...
Not entirely? What's your problem, Jonathan?
Just in terms of the way in which increment is a message.
Here you can look at that like I'm defining a type.
Yeah.
Like if I have here type integer equals 1,
yeah,
means that I can have my integer type only allows 1.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Any issue, Lee?
That's fine so far.
So far, so fine. So here the date is going to take a message. But actually, it's going because here I'm defining a value of the message. Right? Yep. This is one value of the message, which is increment. But in general, you're going to define to get like message as a variable. This is a variable that can hold increments. or any other value for the message. So what I have to return in that date is a new model, a new data. So what is happening is like in your UI, something has happened, like you have clicked the button.
Yep.
So you're going to get that message, and you need to return the new data, the date of that data based on the message that you have returned. So why don't we return just the same type, maybe? Let's return for now, so we get everything building, and then we can have some functionality. Like we have like 10 minutes, something like that. Let's see what happens. So subscriptions, for a matter of like being a bit faster, I'm going to copy that because we're not going to touch on that. But basically, it's part of the publisher subscriber pattern that we use here. Okay. Compile. And I'm going to go to that in a second. So Diogo, Leon, are you following more or less?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, sorry for me, like any. I started learning this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I probably am going to do like a lot of mistakes. Okay, so let's see the compilation error that we have. So it's saying the function program is expecting the argument to be init. It's something called a, and a command. That's an Elm type, which is a command similar to the message that we have. And the value of the command is b. And the same for update. Update, don't worry about that kind of funky arrow notation. It comes from Haskell because Elm is based on Haskell. But it's like BA is some value of type B is passed to a value of type A. And okay, but what I got is init, some kind of record, quantity, number, and update takes some C, which it doesn't know what it is. I see. Doesn't make any sense there. And it's returning quantity of number. Actually, probably like this. Yeah. So what is happening is actually the init function and the update function, they expect to get not only something A, I don't know what A is, it can be anything, but it's also expecting a command. So for a matter of like making the compiler happy, we're going to return that, okay? So how do we do that? If you see, it's expecting like brackets, a command. So what is that? That's like a tuple in Elixir. So it's like a number of values together. It's similar to the record, but the record has like a key value pair. But like the tuple is just plain data. So let's return that. I'm going to put parentheses here. I'm going to like comma, and I need to return something called command, which is an Elm type. But there is something called no. So because here is like an empty command or something. Here the concept of like no is not like they don't have no in M. They have something called maybe, by the way. If you look further on this, they have something called maybe. It's quite crazy. And you can use pattern match with maybe. Yeah, but let's go here. So we had that problem in the init function and in the update function. So I'm going to put that here and see if we get any better. Okay, so still complaining about the update function. And the thing is, yeah, it's complaining about the update and the view. The update, I think the problem is that you see the arrow is getting something in the middle here. So I think the problem is that the update function, what I told you, is going to update the state, the current state of the application is going to update it with a new state. So I'm not passing the state there, right? I'm just like returning some data. I'm getting the message, like increment, decrement, anything happening in your application, but I'm not getting like the previous state or the current state of the data. So I'm going to say like.
So you have to use.
I'm going to pass model here. Okay, so we got better. Now it's not complaining about the update. It's complaining about the view only. You see here, program is expecting view to be record some data, and it's going to return some HTML. But we solved the problem with that update function. So in general, what you have to do really is that update function needs to get, this is the current state of the application, and this is the new state of the application. So if you like, what we can do better is return the same state. Yep. Does it make sense?
Yep.
And you may wonder, okay, but is this like changing the state? Sorry, is it changing this value here?
No.
It's not changing the value. So actually what we could do is like update. So we could copy that record and create a new record based on the previous one. Like in Elixir, when we get a value map and we update, we take some of the values, we change them, and we create a new value map. So that's what I'm going to do now, actually. So I'm going to put like curly braces here, and this is a different notation. So I put curly braces, and then I put the bar, and then here I can update any property of that previous variable. So what I can do is like quantity, and then I can do like model dot quantity plus 1, for example. That's it. So do you know what's going on there? Sorry, I forgot the plus 1. So what is going on there is getting the model that we are passing, the variable that we are passing, and it's going to copy that into a new record, into a new model, but it's going to modify, so all the properties is going to copy, but quantity is going to do something a bit different. It's going to get the current model of quantity and plus 1 on that. But that whole thing inside the curly braces is a new variable. So you may wonder, what is the state of the application? So the whole state of the application is in the main HTML program, line number 35. That's the guy that is like keeping the update function with the current state, and when the update function finishes, then the program takes the new variable that we are sending, and it's doing that. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Sure? Okay. Very good. So, okay, let's compile and see what happens. Still, we get the problem with the view. And it's complaining because you see, what it is the view is a node, something weird, a node. But what it's expecting really is some data and HTML. So again, what it means is a view to render in instant data, right? So the view function in the HTML program is always expecting some input parameter as your data. So
we should pass in model.
That's very good. So let's pass the model, even though we are not using it. Okay, we're back to like. So actually, now that we are passing the model to the view, will we change the hard-coded value?
Yeah.
Okay.
Need to, otherwise it will remain 1.
What did you say?
It will remain 1.
It will remain 1, yeah. So let's do like quantity, and let's compile and see what happens. Okay, so far so good?
Yeah.
If I change here in the init to 3, what will happen?
It'll go bananas.
Bananas. So let's see, that works.
Hey.
Bananas. So if I click increment, nothing happens. Okay. So what time is it? I think we need to shut out now. Maybe I show you really quickly. So in the update function, don't hesitate to leave. You have to leave anytime. So in the update function, we are always incrementing, but there isn't anything here So we are passing the increment function, but we are not checking here for increment or anything like that. So I think we need to implement that part here. So maybe I can copy it really quickly so we can fix it. Okay. Oh, actually, the original problem that I showed you was that let's show the number. So maybe that will be faster to do. So maybe we can do like here. Here you see we are doing like in line number 71. We are doing text and calling the function. So maybe we can do like one banana, two bananas. So let's do that. Can you help me, Jonathan?
Yep. With a little bit of help of
Yes.
copy and paste. So I'm just going to take this line. I need to put in a new div.
You can do that, Jonathan, or yeah, go ahead, try it. Yeah, go for it. Okay, that sounds good. Let's see what happens. You have to click the compile function button. Oh,
Doesn't like it.
doesn't like it. Why is it? It's saying, let's see what it says. It's expecting a string, but you get a number.
Okay.
So you can tell you
Any help, guys? Lee?
Well, I would imagine that's some kind of two-string function.
Yeah, that is.
Equivalent of that.
It's a string function, so the quantity is an integer, Jonathan. So you have to call the string, but yeah, go ahead. Compile. Model of quantity to string is definition model that has the type, but you're doing something called to string. So remember what we were saying about, like when you call a function, you have to put the name of the function and then the parameters. So you don't have such a thing here like dot something, because that dot to string is calling a function in an object, no? But here we don't have any object, so you have to call a function.
So I need to go string
to a string. I think the string was very
string like that. Is there not namespace?
Yeah, compile it and see what happens.
Let me just do that.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, actually, you need to do that. Strong. I'm saying string. I don't know what it is. Maybe you mean a strong.
Is that HTML string? Or?
Maybe try getting rid of the string.
Okay. So, maybe. So the two-string is already on the global.
Yeah. Compile. Oh, so banana one.
Well, one is two.
Yeah, maybe put that above or something. Let's see what happens then. Okay, maybe we need some spacing. Yeah. How do you do that? The way you concatenate the strings.
Yep.
Before
I do another line.
So we have to do like this string is a string itself, but we concatenate it with plus string. So and a space. So that will be what you could do in JavaScript. No?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The plus is causing a type mismatch.
Yeah.
So what?
You're doing one because you need to include all in brackets because the string, the two-string model of quantity is a string beyond the string.
So you want to close this?
No, the around the two-string. So if you open at the beginning of two-string and close at the end of quantity.
At the end of quantity.
Yeah.
Okay. Still don't like it because it's causing a mismatch. Plus is expecting the left argument to be a number, so it's saying plus is to some things.
So do you need like an arrow or something?
It doesn't concatenate the strings.
Concatenation one. Is it maybe the angle bracket one?
Angle bracket bar?
It's plus plus.
Plus.
It's like, I tell you because it's random.
Yeah.
That is a bit random.
Like I think this is the kind of thing that changes in every language.
Banana.
One banana. So maybe we can change the.
Sweet.
Well, that won't just work though, because you're doing increment, you're updating the thing, it's changing the model's being passed into the view, the model's now updated, the state's updated. So
That's
there's
a
a
good
question.
question. Are we wired up correctly?
What do you mean?
So if you
Is the
press
update-
increment, will it just work?
Yeah, but it doesn't work only because you mean like the button, no?
So if you click the button, the update function already takes, yeah, it works.
Oh, it's working!
Hey, ooh, nice.
Nice. The only thing you need to take care is like here in the update, we are not checking for the message.
Sure.
So usually you have to do like if. Message is increments.
Yes. So this update is global for your HTML main program.
That's
and then
correct.
you have to do switch cases,
You have to
switch
do
statements for all the different.
the thing goes really goes complicated in a way like you have a big application, you can imagine this is crazy, but and it's starting with like a natural application, so you want to help me or something? Yeah, I have a GitHub repository, and like what you create is like components and stuff. Like here we have a single file with the main application, but imagine that a bigger application, you can create modules. So then each module can have its own update function. But then there is a way to wire up the update functions in your module to the main update.
Nice.
So here we can return like.
So it's almost like some sort of hierarchy.
There is exactly like a hierarchy of like child modules and your main module where you have the main HTML program.
It's a really nice compact syntax.
I have to do that here. It's one of the things I had a lot of stuff to go through today, but we have technical issues. But like there is a lot of cool stuff. Like as soon as you start looking into this. So actually what I did is I am checking for if the message is increment, then do this, else I'm returning the same model, so it's going to keep the same state of the application, and I'm returning a command empty. Oh yeah, you want
sorry. Command empty, yeah.
Yeah, it works. So like you start looking into the language and the architecture, it's really cool. Like the way you call your APIs is like crazy stuff. Similar to Reflux, to Redux, with the storage and everything. But it's like when you're calling an API, then usually we have a callback function with the success and failure. But here it's trying to avoid that, to avoid having side effects. So what it's doing is it's going to trigger another message to call the API, and then when it comes back, you can get the data. But the whole thing is managed by the Elm framework because it's like wired up to the publisher subscriber. So probably I'm going to do like really bad job explaining this stuff, but there is a lot of information. I'm going to send you later like a lot of links that you can see. You see like anything is a function. There are a lot of things like type, function, compiles to JavaScript. It's very easy to hook to JavaScript applications. Like the one I'm doing, I have some JavaScript and I have some Elm together to see how it fits together, and it's like really cool.
And can we see how this looks in JavaScript decompiled?
You can see that actually, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thanks for the talk.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Actually, you might want to do this later because they're going to be showing the footy in May.
There is a way here because it's this record thing. But when you run in a regular browser, you do S12, so it's regular JavaScript, but it checks for the type. It has a lot of stuff to check for the type. So let me go to the trainer and see.
And how fast is this compared to a regular JavaScript?
You mean in terms of like rendering and stuff?
Yeah.
Similar to React.js because it uses the virtual DOM, and the compiler is really fast. I don't know how it works, but when you do like regular, the way you create this. is you have an Elm file, and you do like compile the Elm file to a JavaScript file. So the compiler is really fast, and like in the application, maybe I can show you.
And the execution, that's.
I don't know how to get. Everything runs really quickly. In terms of like rendering, it's similar to React.js. It uses the same kind of things. So, any questions, Liam or Diogo?
How much work would it be to implement a decrement button?
Decrement button I can do in I don't know, in 2 minutes. So I'm going to copy that stuff here. I'm going to do if else. I change to else if, yeah, correct. And I need the then. So instead I'm going to decrement, correct? And now I need to put another button to trigger that event. So I'm going to copy this one exactly. And sorry, I think I put maybe we can put like comma and another button.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing is I'm putting in the same div. Here I have one div, and the children, they are like 2 buttons here.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need the message as decrement as
well. Decrement, yeah. So
the message.
Oh yeah, sorry, this is short. So I'm going to do decrement. Let's see what happens with this so far. It tells me decrement cannot find variable. Do you mean increment? So I'm going to add that here. The way I add another, so we have a type called message. So the way I add another value is by putting bar. So I put bar and the new type. The new value of the type, sorry.
And then do the else if?
The else if here, what do you mean?
That's it.
Here is already done.
That's else, you've done else if increment.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's see if that works. Increment. It goes minus.
Or on out bananas.
Here, I'm taking so much time. Sorry. Here, you see, we are doing if else, and we have an else in the bottom. So we can do actually something better using pattern matching, because you are expecting that message is always like either increment or decrement.
Yep.
So you can do case message of. That's the syntax, and then you do like one of the types, increments, and an arrow like that. And then I can put the value. So what I do in that case?
Can you pattern match on line 13 instead of MSG? Could you put increment?
I don't think you can, Liam. No, the way you have to pattern match in this case is with the case. But yeah, I can check. I know 100% sure. I haven't seen it, but maybe it's possible. Yeah. So here you can do the same. Let's see what happens actually with when I compile. Else if it doesn't like, it doesn't like case if, else if with the case. So let's do the same thing again. So we can delete here, and then I can put an arrow at the end, and then that should be.
Remove the else.
I need to remove the else, right? Yeah. So I can compile now. And I think I've done one mistake. Yeah, is case sensitive. Sorry, space sensitive in 2 places. One of them is here. So I need to put everything around here. I think that should be the reason. Yeah, that's the reason. So something really cool that happens is if I comment this line or I delete that, I compile, and let's see. The compiler is telling me, hey. You are trying to do a pattern match with message, but you haven't covered all the cases for that type of message. Yeah, I can go like for the whole day with pictures. Any other stuff, Liam or Diogo?
No. Just want to say those error messages are ridiculously helpful.
Yeah, they are very helpful. Normally, like sometimes they go crazy, but Sorry, maybe I should stop now. But I'm going to do something really quickly as well. Like I'm going to do something here. I'm going to show you really quickly. Oh, sorry, what's happening here?
I think
I think I can do like, yeah. I'm going to show you really quickly a way to define like variables, but like in a context, in a scope, like in JavaScript. In JavaScript, you know, you have like let. So I'm going to define let here, and I'm going to define the word. Let's say word. And now I'm going to copy. I can do like call this function here. So here I'm defining the word variable is equals to calling the parameterized function with those parameters, and then the syntax is in. And then I can use that inside the in scope. So, sorry, I don't want to. So, rather than calling the function here, I'm going to put word. Let's see if that works, hopefully. Oh, that works. So this way is how you can define like a scope variables. You can use that in any function, like we could have done in the update or any function. And that's how, and here you can define more variables. So you can define like as many variables as you like, and they can refer to the other. Yeah, I think I'm going to shut down now because I'm taking like so much time. Any other, like, Diogo, do you have any question or something?
Diogo is not paying attention. He's not even at his desk.
It's understandable. Okay, so I think I send you some links and some stuff, and also if you want to help me creating the application, you'll see how it integrates with JavaScript. It's like, I think there is no reason why we could have used that here, actually. And imagine having like Elixir and Elm. Everything functional. You see the state of the application. So in Elixir, you may have the state of the application in the Gen server, managing all your states. And here, you may have the state of the application in the main program. So imagine how good that be.
Can you use Elm with React? I remember whether did you?
Yeah, because like React.js is JavaScript at the end. Yeah. That compares to JavaScript, so Elm can communicate to JavaScript. The way it communicates is by. Yeah, maybe I don't go through that because it's like crazy. Okay, so I'm going to stop the broadcasting now. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Juan.
Sorry for the delay. Cheers.